The homicide trends in Kern County have been record-setting. This year is different. More snow begins drifting into Kern County. We have your travel forecast. And New Year's festivities are ramping up this week. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maddie Jansen. As 2019 comes to a close, the DA's office is hailing the end of a deadly 4-year trend. For the last 4 years, Kern County has seen a record number of homicides, each year beating the previous year. But in 2019, that trend stopped. This year, the DA's office says there have been 90 homicides, according to data from the Department of Justice. Now, those are criminal homicides. In 2018, there were 101. That's an 11% decrease, according to this preliminary data. District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer says that number may go down even further because some of the homicides could be ruled justifiable. The DA's office does not include officer-involved shootings in this count unless criminal charges are filed. The final annual report from the Department of Justice is set to be released in July 2020. 2019 still beats 2016 and 2017 for a number of homicides. We're watching winter weather make its way through Kern County once again. This morning before dawn, flakes started falling in our mountains. CHP started pacing traffic over the Grapevine. The storm did not pack nearly the punch of the last one, though, and then quickly tapered off. CHP stopped pacing over the Grapevine around 5:30 this morning, but still a beautiful wintry wonderland over that way. The snow kept coming in the Tehachapi area, though. This is a look right now at the train cam, the 58 there in the distance. Still a little bit of snow left from last week's massive storm, plus the dusting from this morning. CHP started running traffic brakes on Highway 58 to keep commuters at a safe place early this morning. And the road never closed completely. And as the storm let up, CHP opened the road back up to normal traffic. Meantime, if you find yourself traveling over one of our mountain passes this winter, CHP has some tips. Officers remind you to drive slow when roads are wet. Before you hit the road, make sure you have a set of snow chains for your vehicle and a bag of sand or kitty litter to give yourself some traction in case you get stuck. Plus, keep an ice scraper and snow duster on hand. Having snow on top of your vehicle is hazardous and a finable offense. Finally, stock up on essentials like bottled water, batteries, and a flashlight. For a full list of items to carry with you, visit our website, kget.com. All right, let's check out the man with the forecast here. Is this about done with us for now, Kev, this storm?
Well, like we talked this morning, this system was going to continue to move out, and it's doing so. And we've got some clouds, but also, yes, some sun. It is dry in downtown Bakersfield. As we take a look at Pinpoint Doppler HG radar, you can see very little be seen. Again, this morning we did see the snow showers over the Tehachapi area and even some light snow over the Grapevine, but you can see things are really quieting down. We're already seeing clearing out of the north. Here's a look at the temperature, 55 degrees right now. Only picked up a trace of rain out at Meadows Field. A west-northwest wind at 9 right now. And throughout the day, we'll be in the mid-50s under mostly sunny skies. Mostly clear tonight by 9 o'clock, 46. Tehachapi, 37 degrees right now. A south-southeast wind at 13. Only picked up a trace of snow in the past 24 hours. And you can see throughout the day, we'll start to clear the skies out. 40 degrees by 3 o'clock and then 30s expected as we head into the evening. I'll have much more on your forecast that's coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And while the snow is causing problems for drivers, it's bringing business to Alta Sierra. Just some beautiful shots from up there at the ski resort. It's open this week until January 5th. So far, the resort has received 30 inches of new snow. According to Kevin, their box office opens at 8 a.m., lifts open at 9, and make sure you carry chains or have four-wheel drive if you are headed up that way. But it should be beautiful. Making news around the nation. In just moments, a church service turned into a crime scene Sunday when a gunman opened fire. Today, investigators are searching for the reason why. Blaine Alexander brings us the latest from White Settlement, Texas. We want to warn you, parts of the video we're about to show you are disturbing.
The urgent calls came right in the middle of Sunday service.
We're going to need help with patient care.
It happened at West Freeway Church of Christ in White Settlement, Texas. The service was being live streamed on YouTube. There, in the top left corner, you see a man get up from his seat and talk to someone. Minutes later, he steps back, pulls out a shotgun, and fires twice. But within seconds, parishioners who were also armed spring into action.
Two of the parishioners who are volunteers on the security force drew their weapons and took out the killer immediately. saving untold number of lives.
In the gunman's path, 2 victims, both rushed to the hospital where they later died. One of them identified by family as 64-year-old Tony Wallace, a loving husband, father, and grandfather.
He was just our rock. It was just a rock that held us together.
This morning, the FBI is joining the investigation, working to learn more about the gunman and why he opened fire. And officials say that the shooter had been arrested in the past repeatedly, but they would not go into details about those previous crimes. Now, they say that when he walked into this church, he sat with the congregation for a bit, listening to service before he got up and started shooting. In White Settlement, Texas, I'm Blaine Alexander, NBC News.
Meantime, in New York, an Orthodox Jewish community's on edge after a stabbing attack at a Hanukkah gathering left 5 people hospitalized. The suspect was arrested in Manhattan within hours. He's pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of burglary. The suspect's family issued a statement late last night saying he has a long history of mental illness and hospitalizations and is not a member of any hate groups. The violence follows at least 8 recent attacks on Jews in the New York area, according to the NYPD, and less than 3 weeks after a shooting at a kosher grocery store in Jersey City that killed 3 civilians and a police officer. President Trump calling Saturday's attack horrific in a tweet, writing, "We must all come together to fight, confront, and eradicate the evil scourge of anti-Semitism." A Kern County Sheriff's deputy was involved in a shooting in northeast Bakersfield that killed a man this weekend. KCSO says deputies were responding to a domestic situation on Water Street Saturday night. Deputies say a man refused orders and armed himself with some kind of object, then moved towards deputies. One deputy suffered a cut during the incident, and the suspect was killed.
The officer-involved shooting occurred at 6:01 p.m. The man was declared deceased by responding medical personnel. One of our deputies suffered injuries, laceration, which is not believed to be life-threatening to his head.
Again, anyone with information is encouraged to call KCSO at 861-3110. A person was hurt but survived after being hit by a car. It all happened yesterday near East California Avenue and South Tulare Street. BPD says that person suffered moderate injuries. They were taken to the hospital. Police are now looking for the driver who took off. Officers say the car is a dark gray vehicle, possibly a Nissan. If you have information, you're encouraged to call BPD at 327-7111. There are several ways to get home safely this New Year's. If you're going to go out and drink, plan ahead for how you'll get home. The Automobile Club of Southern California will offer its free Tipsy Tow service as a last resort, they remind you. The service is available from 6 p.m. tomorrow until 6 a.m. on Wednesday. You can call 1-800-400-4AAA for a free tow home of up to 7 miles. Keep in mind, though, that service excludes rides for passengers. Advanced Beverage Company and Bud Light are also teaming up to offer free rides. You can call 431-3854. And Bud Light, DDI, and Advanced Beverage will pick up the fare. Rides are limited to destinations within Bakersfield. The clock's ticking if you still want to see the dazzling holiday lights at Calm. This is just a glimpse of the zoo display. These millions of lights are going away Saturday. This is the last week to see them until the holidays come around next year. The display's up each night from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Tickets are $12 for adults. Seniors, teens, and kids get in for lower prices. All prices are 50% off for Calm members. And if you'd like to volunteer, Calm is always in need of people to help out. You can visit the Calm website to find out more, and in exchange for volunteering, you get a ticket to come back and enjoy the lights yourself. And you still have a few days to enjoy the holiday spirit at Christmastown. You can find the display inside Pioneer Village at the Kern County Museum. There's an ice rink, sledding, and pictures with Santa. It starts at 5:30 each night, and the final night is Saturday. 2020 is just around the corner. Splash into the new year by taking an icy plunge. It's a Bakersfield tradition, the highly anticipated Polar Bear Plunge. It's taking place New Year's Day at 11 a.m. at McMurtry Aquatic Center on Q Street. 2020 is around the corner. So are the 2020 Olympics. We'll have a look at preparations in Japan. Plus, with 2020 resolutions about to be in full swing, we'll have a look at the new diet craze, intermittent fasting, and whether the results live up to the hype. Your 17 Health Watch is after the break. Welcome back in your 17 Health Watch. Many of us plan on ringing in the new year with a few drinks with friends and family, but that could lead to accidents or injuries. Here are some tips to make sure you don't spend the first day of 2020 in the ER. Doctors with the Cleveland Clinic stress that you can celebrate, but remember that moderation is key. Experts say overindulgence in alcohol can lead to poor judgment and injuries, mainly from falls. Finally, don't drink and drive. Have a plan set up before you go out, including a way to get home safely. An expanded recall of hard-boiled eggs now includes items sold at Costco, Walmart, Kroger, and Trader Joe's. The recall covers hard-boiled egg products manufactured at the Gainesville, Georgia plant of Alamark Foods. It includes all retail, pillow pack, pouch pack, frozen, diced, and protein kits, which may be contaminated with listeria. The FDA has a full list of recalled products on its website. 7 people in 5 states have been sickened in the outbreak, according to the CDC. The latest diet craze is called intermittent fasting. It means going long stretches without eating. And now a new study says it may have powerful hidden health benefits that go way beyond weight loss. NBC's Gotti Schwartz reports.
They say some people eat to live, others live to eat. But a new study is asking whether going hungry could be the key to a healthier and even longer life. Published in the New England Journal of Medicine, researchers are now taking a dive into 2 kinds of intermittent fasting.
In one fast, instead of the good old breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you avoid food for 16 to 18 hours a day and only eat from a 6 to 8 hour window.
The second, you eat your normal 3 meals, but only 5 days a week, and on 2 days, you cut all the way back to 500 calories. The study's author and professor of neuroscience, Mark Mattson, has been fasting intermittently for nearly 30 years.
Intermittent fasting enhances the ability of cells to cope with stress.
He says all that quick feast to famine forces your body to switch between burning and storing fat like humans did in ancient times.
Our bodies and brains evolved to function well, perhaps optimally, in a fasted state.
The study finding that sometimes those switches can help reduce obesity, high cholesterol, blood pressure, and inflammation while increasing memory, cognition, and resistance to disease. An easy sell on California's Muscle Beach.
I just feel a lot better.
But researchers say intermittent fasting isn't for everyone, specifically children, the elderly, people with eating disorders, or women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. And if you're thinking about it, check with a doctor or nutritionist before pushing that plate away. Gotti Schwartz, NBC News, Los Angeles.
All right, will we be bringing in the new year with any more snow in our mountains, Kev? That's the question.
Yeah, the answer to that is no. And the new year is going to start out dry and sunny. Taking you outside this morning, we talked about how the skies would clear out, and they're doing so as we speak, and that will only continue. The rain, the mountain snow has come to an end, finally. As we take a look at our camera network, Wasco, partly cloudy, 52 degrees. Arvin, 54. Still quite chilly and lots of snow on the ground out of Frazier Park. They're at 32. The clouds kind of hanging on, and Golden Hills 38 degrees and mostly sunny at this time. So great start to the afternoon here. As we take a look at other temperatures, valley temps in the 50s, upper mountains into the 30s, and also we've got 51 out of Lake Isabel. So warming up there, 40s out in the desert. Here's a look at the Pinpoint Doppler HD, and it has all come to an end. This system has now pushed out of Kern County. We're not expecting any more rain or snow. And the commute along I-5 out near Fraser Mountain Road looking good as well. Just a little slick probably tonight, as some of that black ice is still going to form, I think, as temperatures are going to dip low. Now, I think we're going to end out, well, actually, I know we're going to end out December just like this. 1.52 inches in the gauge. We're up for the month. Over a half an inch. That's great news. Since January 1st, 9.11 in the gauge, and we're up almost 2 3/4 of an inch. Normal for the year, just over 6 inches. So it was a great season in terms of the rain. As we take a look at the regional view, here's the system we're tracking. It is moving now south and eventually east over the Baja Peninsula, clearing to the north, and that is going to continue for Kern County as mentioned. I want to show you the snowpack right now, and the northern Sierra sits at 84% of normal, the central at 99% of normal, and the southern Sierra at 114%. So these numbers up from where we were last year at this time. So that's good news. High pressure sits just off to the west. This is going to build on in here for the next several days, drying us out and also giving us those mostly sunny conditions. As we take a look at today, mid-50s, 56 in Bakersfield, Delano, and McFarland, 52 out in Taft, a light wind throughout the day, mostly sunny in the mountains, a northeast wind, 25 to 35, 38 in Frazier Park, 42 in Tehachapi, and 40s and 50s out of the Kern River Valley. Lake Isabel should be right near 50 today with Kernville at 46. 36. And then for the desert, mostly sunny, winds gusting around 35 and a high of 43 in Mojave. Here's your extended forecast. New Year's Eve looking great. 59 degrees on the high. New Year's Day sunny and 58. A few clouds by the end of the work week into the weekend, but still very nice. As we take a look at the mountain forecast, and very little to talk about. Whoa, that's a change from what we just had. A little bit breezy for you Thursday, and temperatures remaining into the 40s through Thursday, and then 50s return by Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then for the Kern Valley, also very nice as we go throughout the rest of our work week with the 50s, some 60s on the board Friday and Saturday. One thing to note here, though, for tonight into early tomorrow morning with the clearing skies and the moisture that's still around, wouldn't be surprised if we see some fog formation late tonight into tomorrow morning. Fog's always kind of a hard thing to forecast, but you take into account all the rain that we saw and now the clearing skies, it's a pretty good chance we'll see some fog tomorrow morning.
We don't have to worry about school delays, though.
No
School's
school delays.
out.
School's still out. So just if you're going to be hitting the roadways for New Year's Eve in the morning, just keep that in mind. It could be a little foggy from Bakersfield north.
Give yourself some extra time.
Yes.
Thanks, Kev. Dreading braving the after Christmas return rush? We'll have some tips to make the process less painful up next.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back in your 17 Business Watch, and stocks are falling today. The Dow down 158 points so far in trading. The Nasdaq down 55. The S&P 500 down 16. Checking out oil prices while we're at it. West Texas Intermediate selling for $61.60 a barrel. Midway Sunset at $64.97. Paying your credit card bill late will likely be more expensive in the new year. Credit card late fees are expected to hit $40 in early 2020. Effective January 1st, 2020, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau will raise the permissible maximum for credit card late payment fees by $1. Card issuers can't raise fees overnight since the law generally requires they give cardholders at least 45 days notice. Some issuers may choose not to increase late fees at all. However, issuers like to copy each other. If one increases late fees, others likely follow suit shortly after. 2019 looks like it will keep the streak alive for the auto industry. With a strong December, 17 million vehicles have sold in 2019. The fifth straight year the industry has hit that milestone. Total sales in 2019 are forecast to be down more than 1% from last year, and this negative trend is expected to continue into 2020. But strong December sales are critical for the industry, particularly for clearing previous model year inventory from dealerships. Did you get exactly what you wanted for Christmas? Chances are there are some gifts you'd like to return or exchange. Mary Maloney has a closer look at how to navigate those returns.
They say it's the thought that counts, but when it comes to holiday presents, not every gift is a winner. Every retail and online store has its own policy when it comes to returns and exchanges. Experts say check the fine print before you head to the store.
Sometimes during the holidays, there's actually not the same return policy that there is year-round. Is there a restocking fee if they do accept a refund?
Consumer Reports also recommends these 3 tips. Number 1, don't open the box. Keep the original packaging intact. Otherwise, retailers may charge you a restocking fee. This is especially important for electronics. Number 2, keep those receipts. Consumer Reports says having one will ensure you get a full refund. Otherwise, you'll likely get store credit.
We're reading that fine print to understand how are we going to return these gifts if our loved one doesn't like them, and make sure we're getting those gift receipts.
And number 3, bring your ID. Some stores use computerized return systems that detect abuse, and you may be required to show identification. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Coming up, resolutions versus reality, how to make them stick, and picking the right intentions for 2020. That's after the break. Welcome back. The clock's about to start ticking on New Year's resolutions. But now comes some expert opinions that resolutions may do more harm than good. Our story now from NBC's Chris Clackham.
Even before the confetti falls, some New Year's resolutions will likewise have fallen, unless they're easy.
To be kinder, listen more, and be a little bit more tolerant.
Most resolutions, though, are meant to be tough and a challenge to keep.
I make them and break them in a very short amount of time.
And usually those are the most common resolutions.
Lose some weight, exercise more, travel more.
However, some experts now wonder if some resolutions do more harm than good, especially if they're not reasonable and especially if they're not given enough time to succeed.
When people can't stick to resolutions, they may be dispirited a little bit.
Or maybe more than a little bit, enough to make people give up too quickly, which is why psychologists like the Cleveland Clinic's Scott B. suggest realistic resolutions that might stand a better chance if started long after the holidays.
Around the new year, around the holidays, maybe it's not the ideal time for change. We don't quit smoking the day the dog dies.
And he says the first resolution should be sticking to it for at least 63 to 66 days, because that's about how long it takes for a resolution to become a habit. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
When we come back here on 17 News at noon, I'll look at preparations for the 2020 Olympics. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Finally here at noon, with less than 7 months to go until the 2020 Tokyo Olympics begin. Preparations in Japan are almost completed. The new national stadium in the heart of Tokyo is finished in November. The main stadium for the Olympics and Paralympics can accommodate nearly 60,000 spectators. The venue will be used for the opening and closing ceremonies, as well as soccer games and track and field events. Test events have already been held at various venues to prepare for the Summer Games. The Olympic opening ceremony is set for July 24th, with the Paralympics opening on August 25th.
It's just incredible what these cities and towns do to get ready for the Olympics.
Oh, I know.
It's a complete overhaul.
You're building a city, essentially. All right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back tonight at 5.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.